Howdy, gang. Kevin here. That's for you, Jake. I've done a cigar and whiskey talk for a while, so I think we'll do one of those today. Just got back a couple days ago from Virginia Beach. Okay. Today's cigar and whiskey talk. We'll talk about Virginia Beach after I get the intro out of the way. We're gonna do some Stillhouse. This is apple crisp. It's a clear liquor. Got a little bit of 40 Creek still left in there, so it turned a little tan. So we're mixing today, I guess. And we're going to do a Kentucky Fire Cured today. Anyway, trip to Virginia Beach was successful. Got the new grandchild launched. Doing fine. Mom and Dad are in the getting no sleep mode right now. Sorry, welcome to our world. Interesting place out there. They had the baby at the Portsmouth Naval Medical Center out there. And that place is still all into COVID. Now, the rest of Portsmouth wasn't, but the Naval Medical Center was still all into the COVID stuff, masks and all that other stuff. They did actually let us go in where the baby was, so they weren't as far into it as when I went down to see my granddaughter launched down in Florida. But anyway, new baby is successfully launched. I'm thinking that Portsmouth doesn't actually want much business done out in the city, though. We went out to dinner one night, me and my wife, and it was a really good dinner, don't get me wrong. Food was good, a lot of it, whole 9 yards. But we went into this place. It was a restaurant in a marina down there, and they did some things that I don't like. They did the forced gratuities. 19% automatically added onto your bill for gratuities, which kind of screwed this girl out of stuff because once I get forced gratuities on me, that's all I'm going to pay is the forced. But she did a good job. She was really good about it and pointed it out up front that it was forced gratuities. She failed to mention, though, after we got our bill and stuff like that Portsmouth has something called a Portsmouth meal charge, $4.50 a plate. Just to have a meal in Portsmouth. Some kind of a fee that they add on. So apparently Portsmouth doesn't necessarily like you eating out. Or maybe it's just for tourists. I don't know. But anyhow, that was a great successful trip out there. Had one interesting occurrence while we were out there, aside from the baby. I had the left front tire on my van that kept losing air. So I took it to a place, and the closest place that did tire repair to my son's house out there was Pep Boys. And I took the vehicle in, and I said, hey, I got a tire going low. And they said, well, we're really busy. It'll be a while. So I waited in the waiting room at Pep Boys for like 2.5 hours. And finally the guy came and got me. He goes, we can't find anything wrong with that tire. I said, well, got to be something wrong with it. It goes down about an hour. Goes down to 20 pounds and then stops leaking. And we went out to the shop and he showed it to me. They had hosed it down with soapy water in the whole 9 yards. There were 3 guys looking at it. None of them could find the leak. I said, all right, whatever. I'll figure something out. So they let it down off the jack and took it back outside. And I had seen another tire place on the way there. So I went and stopped there. and said, hey, I got a tire going. It's slow leak in it. Goes down in a couple of hours, but it goes from like 40 pounds to 20 pounds, and then it stops leaking. And they said, we'll look at it. We'll find it, no problem. They couldn't find it either. I checked everything, rim, jousting, sidewall, everything. They checked everything. Still couldn't find the leak. So at the exit where you get off the belt for my son's house, I had seen a used tire shop there. So the next day I took it over there, and the guy came out. They were busy. It was an old gas station, had 3 regular garage bays, and then it had an overhang where the pumps used to be. And they had cars lined up in front of those bays. They had 3 or 4 cars in underneath that overhang, all of them jacked up, getting tire work done. And the guy came out. I drove into the parking space, and before I got out of the van, he was outside going, how can I help you? And I told him what was going on. And I told him I'd had it 2 other places, and they hadn't found it. And he goes, we'll take a look at it for you. He goes, it's going to be a while. We're busy. He goes, it'll be about 35 minutes. And I go, that's okay. No problem. I just got to get the tire fixed. I'm getting ready to go back to Indiana. And after about 20 minutes, they came and had me pull the vehicle around to one of the bay doors. And I pulled it around over there. A guy came out of the shop, one of the guys working in the shop. And he goes, what's going on? I told him what was going on. And I went back and sat down on the curb waiting for my vehicle. And the guy came back after about 10 minutes, and he goes, oh, yeah, I found it. I go, you found it? He goes, yeah, no problem. He goes, I don't know why nobody else couldn't find it. It's leaking like hell. And I go, all right. He took me over there to show me. And he goes, you want it plugged or you want it patched? I said, I'm driving 800 miles tomorrow morning. He goes, I'll take it off the rim and patch it for you. I said, okay, sounds good. Another 15 minutes, done. Haven't had a leak since. So, my first instinct was to take it to that place, because I like the little places, the mom and pop places, the out of the way kind of things. And my instinct was overridden by what I searched on the internet. So, lesson learned. First instinct, take it. Anyway, I think those are about the only interesting things that's happened out there. Yeah. So this is about the only week I have, the only few days I've got. We've got a private class over at the school starting on Saturday. So I'll be over there again this weekend and the next few foreseeable weekends. So there may not be a lot of videos, but I really need to up my game. So I'll try. All right. We're over 7,500 subscribers now, so I got to give something away because I said I would. And I've got a couple of ideas for that bouncing around. We'll see what those ideas turn into. All right, now let's get to the Mediac on the talk. What the heck has happened to the U.S. work ethic? I guess this kind of goes back to that tire thing, but as far as I know, the first 2 places tried. As far as I know. But anyway, we got too many folks that are that just sit around and wait for somebody else to do stuff. Now, when I was in the workforce and in the Navy and all that, I was one of those guys that was I guess kind of a go-getter, because I didn't stop working until all the work was done. When I was in the workforce, I would work all day at work, and then I would come home and work in the yard and the garden until it was too dark to work anymore. And up early doing stuff before I went to work at the house, and then taking off and going to work a full day, and then back at it again at home, doing all the stuff that needed to be done here. But over the last few years, I guess, I've started to let things slide a little bit. And a lot of times I'll just ignore something just to see if someone else will step up and do it. And I'm never really surprised when it doesn't happen. So I just don't know what happened. I've had some discussions with folks in my age group, and it's not just me that notices this. It's got too many people that are more than willing to just sit around and let other people do stuff. I don't understand the mentality of I'm not going to get off my dead butt and do stuff that need to be done. I see it needs to be done, but I'm just going to ignore it. Now, I freely admit that in the last couple of years, I have freely ignored things just to see if someone else will do them, and they don't. That's why I kind of like working with the Pathfinder crew, because nobody there is like that, really. And most of the folks I meet in this community aren't like that. But I hate to tell you guys, we're a minority. We're a minority. I just don't. I don't understand. I'll be honest with you. I do not understand. If you understand, please feel free to put the comments in there that you understand. And it drives me crazy when things don't happen that should happen. Anyway, I guess that's probably about where I'll go with this. Yep, cigar went out. Let's flame this thing back up. All right, let's talk about the cigar and the whiskey. I'll just close this up. The Stillhouse. You guys have seen me do it multiple times, so you know I'm going to say I'd do it again. It wouldn't be my first choice buying it. I'll admit to you, I bought the Stillhouse because the can that it was in. I'd never had it before, and I bought it. I bought it quite a while ago, and I haven't drank a lot of it, so it's not my first choice, but it's good. And I would do it again. That's my rating on that. The Kentucky Fire Cured. I had smoked some of the smaller Kentucky Fire Cured before, but I never had one of their big ones. And it's okay. But I probably won't intentionally buy them again. Now, you may be different. I'll be honest with you. It's got a weird aftertaste that I'm not a fan of. And the small ones are like that too. So, if you like fire-cured cigars, it's probably a good thing for you. I'm just not a big fan. Not a big fan. And I bought this at a small shop that didn't have a super good humidor and all that kind of thing. Didn't take care of their cigars super well. So that may be part of it. But yeah, it's not something I would shy away from. There are a couple I would shy away from with all of my being. But the fire cured is okay, but it's not something that I would go out and look for intentionally. And like I said, the Stillhouse, I'd do it again. I like it. It's not my first choice, but I like it. With all that being said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. The notification seems to work better if you have your app, if you have the YouTube app on your phone. You get notifications better that way, from what I've been told and what I have seen. I guess you guys are liking the footage from the classes, because those are actually about double my views. Now I know I'm a little channel, and in the grand scheme of things, 200 or 300 views is not a super thing. But Good enough for me. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I'm not going to run you down. So, y'all have a good one, and I'll have a couple more videos up this week at least, and we'll be giving something away later this week. We'll do the giveaway video later this week. I probably won't give something away until next week, but we'll do the giveaway video this week. And the Salty Dog Vlog is on Patreon only. And there's some stuff on there that I probably won't talk about on this channel. So that may change. I may actually do the Salty Dog Vlog and then later release it on YouTube from the Patreon channel. But that is not in the works right now. Just so y'all know. Y'all have a good one. Hope to see you in the woods.